The corral of four-wheeled horses all set to go here tonight, Wichita, Kansas at 81 Speedway. Good evening, everybody. I'm DC Bash, and welcome to Dirt Zone. It's leg number 4 of the Thunder Through the Plains Tour 2001, the NCRA versus the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars. Big racing this week. The Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, taking the first 2, and last night, Danny Smith coming up with a big win at the Jetmore Motorplex, getting his first All-Star win. By the way, the man still yet to show up, the tall Texan, Gary Wright, 8-time NCRA champion and 7 wins in this series over its 7-year inception. So the Cowboy, Gary himself, a little bit angry. We'll see what happens in just a minute. Let's get ready to race. Let's go up top to the voice of Dirt Zone 2001, Rick Eshelman.
Thanks, DC. Welcome, race fans, to Dirt Zone 2001. I'd like to welcome the viewers from Fox Toledo. We're at Thunder Through the Plains, edition number 7, 81 Speedway in Wichita, Kansas, 3/8 mile track. C. Ray Hall, the owner of this racetrack, president of NCRA. And tonight's format at C. Ray's track, it'll be 4 10-lap heat races, the Hallmark Dash, 12-lap B main, 30-lap A main, 5,000 to win, 30 cars in the pits tonight for action. Let's go down pit side with Bash, who's with last night's winner, Danny Smith, picking up his first win of the season and the All-Star Circuit of Champions Tour.
Okay, Rick, Dirt Zone congrats are in order for this young man, getting his first All-Star win. We didn't mention that last night, Danny Smith. Great job up there, man.
Yeah, first one of the year. It's been took 3/4 of the season to get it, but we finally got one.
You have been getting some wins elsewhere. You won the Brad Doty Classic. Took a little while to get things turned around this year. What has been the difference in this John Baker excavating team?
Just everything's going good. Drawing the right pills. Our engines are running good. Maxim chassis working good. So just kind of everything's falling into place here in the last couple of years.
So many times you see sprint car drivers, it's up, it's down, it's a real roller coaster, but it seems like you're there every night. I mean, that might be a bit of a stretch, but to the general fan out there, it seems like you're there every night, and it's just that little tilt, isn't it?
Yeah, when I teamed up with John Baker last year, he said, do your own deal, do what you think we need to do, and that's what I've been doing, and it's been working out. So, plus 28 years of experience doesn't hurt things. If the car is really good and racy, I run it hard, and if it doesn't feel good, if I feel like if I run it hard, we'll crash, we might just sit back and finish.
So you feel like the difference maybe has been someone just believing in you to kind of control your own thing?
Yeah, this ride started out as a temporary ride until I got a full-time ride, and that's been a year and a half ago. So, yeah, it's good for somebody to believe in you.
All right, let's set it up for Wichita here tonight. Gary Wright won this event last year. He couldn't be more heartbroken than last night, but let's go ahead and set it up this year.
Yeah, it's a typical all-star race. You never know who's going to win it. There's about 15 guys here that are capable, and it's just a matter of drawing the right numbers and getting the right breaks, and at the end of 30 laps, we'll find out.
Okay, Danny Smith, congratulations on your win last night, and also congratulations on your first All-Star win of the season. Let's get a few more.
All right, thank you.
Danny Smith, last night's winner. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. And as we take a look at the beautiful Wichita skyline, you see the point standings. Chad Kemenaugh's been on top most of the season, 74 points ahead of 4-time winner this year, Kenny Jacobs. And Jacobs looking for another win here tonight. We're going to go down and talk to Gary Wright from NCRA.
Okay, we are here with the Dirt Zone heartbreak of the night. Last night up at Dodge City, but Gary, I don't think there's a soul alive that didn't feel a broken heart the minute that you went over after leading that race last night. Everybody thought it was your race, but I'm sure not as heartbroken as you were.
Well, it really was. The car was so good. You hate to lose a race when a car is just that good, but the lap cars, sometimes when you get to them, you just don't know which way they're going to go, and he went from the top to the bottom, and I didn't have anywhere to go.
It might have been a good thing, though. As they say, some things are blessings in disguise. You put the other car up, but you got this car out. You won in Florida with this car, and you won 2 of these Thunder Through the Plains races with this car last season. So it might be a good thing.
It's an experienced car, that's for sure. It's a 99 model and got probably about 80, 90 races on it, but still works good. So we're going to try it again the rest of this trip.
As far as that goes, you had your good qualifying last night. You got good placement in the feature. You were right there at the end. That is everything in the sport, isn't it? It
really is. The field is so tight here. If you can start up the first couple of rows, your chances of winning are greatly increased. So, you want to start on the front row.
Okay, you're the all-time feature winner in the Thunder Through the Plains, and you won tonight here at Wichita last year and in Tulsa. So it's pretty much your race to lose.
We go awful good here. So, I think we're going to be good tonight. But you never know. There's always them lap cars.
Gary, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. 8-time NCRA champion. Wish you the best tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Gary Wright, the number 9 sprinter. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. You see the fans coming into 81 Speedway tonight. They're in for a treat. You're in for a treat, too. We'll be back in just a moment with heat race action on Dirt Zone 2001. Welcome back to Dirt Zone 2001, 81 Speedway, Wichita, Kansas. Bash Campbell's made it up here in the booth with me, and we are ready to call KT Equipment Rental Heat Race number 1. 10 laps the distance, top 6 qualifiers inverted, top 5 finishers go to the A main. Your pole car, Jared Wilson in 88, Jonathan Allard in 35. Row 2 has Greg Wilson in 63, last night's winner Danny Smith in 4. Starting 5th, it's Kelly Kinzer in 4K. The Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, your fast qualifier. He'll go from the 6th spot, then Dan the Sonic Man, Dan Oswald in D1, Josh Ravel in 007. Bash, we're underway, and Allard gets a jump.
Jonathan Allard stepping out front already, Rick, out of California, out running with the All-Stars, first of all, at the 1,200-pound Nationals. Doing a great job this week, man. Used to this thick, heavy track. Normally runs in Chico with the Golden State Challenge, but doing a great job with the All-Stars. Here comes Danny Smith. You always keep an eye on Mr. Smith coming out of that 3-hole.
And that track is tacky right now. They're getting a good bite. Allard out front, but Smith battling for second with Wilson. Goes to the high side. Lots of room here at Wichita, Kansas, and he'll take over the number 2 spot. Danny Smith on the move, started in 4th, picked up 2 spots, and here comes the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs on the outside of Kinzer down the back chute.
Couple of seasoned veterans there. Kenny Jacobs, a 3-time defending All-Star champion. Kelly Kinzer battling it out. Kelly Kinzer doing his familiar low side trick. Oh, Jared Wilson tags that wall down there, Rick. He's up for NCRA Rookie of the Year. Doing a great job this year, but a little bit inexperienced, and that gets you a little closer to the wall. But Danny Smith, a veteran, need I speak too quick? It looks like he's having some troubles too in this first heat at Wichita Speedway.
Caller's performance scoreboard shows 3 laps in, 7 to go. Jonathan Allard, the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, Kelly Kinzer, your top 3. Top 5 finishers go to the feature event. Everybody else to the B main. There's Greg Wilson and Dan the Sonic Man running in the top 5.
Dan the Sonic Man owning a couple of Sonic restaurants, very familiar as Burger King is out to the Midwest there. So naturally they call him Dan the Sonic Man.
And down the back stretch and into turn number 3 they fire. There you see Oswald in the D1. Kenny Jacobs chasing your leader, Jonathan Allard. Kelly Kinzer running 3rd. Out of 2 and down the back stretch. Allard has everything turned on and pointing in the right direction. Got a good bite, Bash. He comes out low out of the corners, up by the wall, dives right back down in.
You don't see that very often. Someone schooling Kenny Jacobs, a 3-time defending All-Star champion, but Jonathan Allard seems to know the way around this track, very familiar to his confines at Chico, California, when he normally runs out west, Rick.
And Jacobs, normally in the heat races, does well. He's doing good right now, but I'll tell you what, come feature time, he may be the teacher and Allard may be the student.
I got to believe it. Jonathan Allard looking very good here in this first heat, man. He's very, very dialed in tonight. We got a yellow flag.
Caution flag out once again in KT Equipment Rental Heat Race number 1. Spin over in turn number 3, bringing out the second caution of the race, and that is the 007 of Josh Ravel. Cali's performance scoreboard, Dave, 6 in, 4 to go.
Very, very good first heat here. Again, Jonathan Allard out of California, spending some time with the All-Stars over the last couple of weeks here. Schooling Kenny Jacobs, you just don't see it too often. Kelly Kinzer in that number 3 hole, number 63 of Greg Wilson in the number 4 hole in the first heat, getting his first feature win not too long ago at Speed Week.
And green is out, and your front 2 pull away once again. Now Greg Wilson on the move. Driver out of Benton Ridge, Ohio in the Hampshire Motors. Barfield Gifted Fruit, number 63, giving Kinzer all it's worth, and Kinzer holding the bottom.
Something odd about that. Greg Wilson, normally a better runner on a hard black slick track, but he seems to be getting his game together. He's been complaining about that all season. They need to make that part of the game a little bit better. It looks like he's finally starting to figure out these heavy wet tracks, Rick.
And a good battle for 3rd right now between Wilson and Kinzer holding it down. We're closing in on the end of heat race number 1, and it's all Jonathan Allard as he storms into turn 3.
The track conditions couldn't be better, Rick. Very, very nice tonight. A sprint car driver's dream to have it nice and tacky, just jetting off that 4th turn. Jonathan Allard seems to have this first heat well under control at 81 Speedway and here in Wichita, Rick.
And into turn number 3, Allard takes the number 35 through the corner. Nice smooth line. On the 4, across the line, checkered flag. Jonathan Allard, your winner. Kenny Jacobs, 2nd. Kelly Kinzer, 3rd. Greg Wilson and Dan Oswald takes the top 5 spots. They go to the feature event. And Allard, just like you said, he schooled the Mouse. You don't see that very often here on Dirt Zone.
A little action for the fans. When you school the mouse, why not tout it just a little bit? Jonathan Allard getting it up high there, heading back to the pit area to kind of pound his chest a little bit. We're back with the second heat next on Dirt Zone 2001. Welcome back to Dirt Zone, winner of heat number 1, all the way from Chico, California. Jonathan Allard in that 35 Sprinter, nice job.
Thank you. It's more of a track like we run out in California, so more of the surface, and we're a little bit more used to this track, so we're able to get a good advantage at the start, and we have a good power plant and a good car provided by Rick Wright, and he's done a real good job for me and brought me out here to let me learn.
So many people are complaining about the heavy confines here. You're loving this, aren't you?
I'm loving it. This is definitely a treat for me compared to the last few nights, which have been dry, and definitely a learning experience on those last couple nights, but this is more my cup of tea.
So the California guys, this is more their kind of thing?
Yeah, we tend to have a little bit more heavier of a clay, which tends to stick the cars a little harder, and it's tougher to get through the corners. And we set the cars up a little different, and we're able to get through the ruts and the corners a little better than these guys with this track surface. But all these guys are fast, so they're going to get her tuned up, and we'll have a tough main event.
You schooled the All-Star champion, Kenny Jacobs. Good job and good luck in the A-Main.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan Allard, winner of heat number 1. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. We're ready for JB Enterprises heat race number 2. On the pole, Matt Saint in the 3M, Zach Chappell in 50Z. He's had a good week so far. KSC rookie contender for the All-Stars, Mike Wagner in 55. All-Stars point leader, Chad Kemenaugh in 15K. NCRA point leader, Gary Wright in 9. KSC rookie of the year contender, Jason Johnson in 22. Row number 4 has Joe Bastias in 37. Ernest Jennings in 61. 2 KSC rookie contenders for the All-Stars, the current All-Star point leader, the current NCRA point leader, star-studded field for heat race number 2. Bash has made his way back to the tower. It's going to be a good one, Dave. We've got everything you wanted in heat race number 2 as they come out of 4.
Boy, you said it. You could have said it better there, Rick. Matt Saint up front had a big heat win last night. Always a tough runner with the NCRA. Zach Chappell runs tough. The ASCS having a real good week with the All-Stars, and of course, Chad Kemenaugh looking to take this points championship this year. And Gary Wright, what do I say about Gary Wright last night at Jetmore, winning the race, pretty much running off with it, then flipping the car. And we've got trouble with Mike Wagner over there in 1 and 2.
Well, Wagner slipped up on the cushion, got it up on the 2 right wheels. You don't see that often in sprint car racing. Was able to gather it up and lost a lot of track time. And Jason Johnson, the racing Cajun out of Eunice, Louisiana, putting the Eldon Motorsports entry number 22 up on the cushion. Goes around Wright, and Wright battles back, but Johnson not done. He's working on Zach Chappell now, looks inside and goes high.
You know, it's not very often you see Zach Chappell, a 17-year-old kid, and Jason Johnson up for Rookie of the Year, schooling an 8-time NCRA champion in Gary Wright. This is amazing racing tonight. We're seeing these young bucks really gel and come into their own in this 2001 season, Rick.
And the youngsters are teaching the veterans a thing or two here early. And look at Johnson work the wheel on the outside, but Chappell dragging down the back, shooting it into 3. Now Johnson looks again to the high side. Jason Johnson, momentum out of 4. It's going to carry him by Chappell as they go across the line.
Well, when you think about the shoes that Jason Johnson had to fill in the excavation of Jack Haudenschild after leaving the Jack Eldon team, Jason Johnson has really lived up to the billing so far this season.
And Matt Saint, we haven't talked a lot about him tonight. He's had a great run in this heat event. Chad Kemenaugh running second, chasing him down. But Matt Saint is impressing everybody here at Wichita, Kansas tonight. 81 Speedway has been good to the guys that have not finished up high. And tonight they are getting the job done.
Heavy track conditions, but as we said earlier in heat number 1, Rick, it's exactly what sprint car drivers love. They get tired of that dust after a while. And C. Ray Hall has this track in excellent shape tonight here at Wichita's 81 Speedway.
And a driver that likes it a lot is Gary Wright as he slipped through turn number 4. That's going to cost him about 5 car lengths, but the veteran will gather it back up as he chases young Zach Chappell down the backstretch. Chappell drags him into 3, and Bash, here comes Mike Wagner after that early slip-up.
Kind of fitting they call Gary Wright the tall Texan, because you got to wrestle this like a bull ring. You might as well be on a bull in those cars. I've heard these guys say time and time again, very, very rough to handle these, let alone on these wet, heavy tracks.
And checkered flag comes out as Kemenaugh was closing in on Matt Saint. Saint will take the event. Second to Chad Kemenaugh, Jason Johnson third, Zach Chappell fourth. Gary Wright is in the big show. He finishes in 5th. And you've seen Chad Kemenaugh there a little bit sideways around Matt Saint. Saint picks up JB Enterprises heat race number 2. That's his second heat race win in Thunder Through the Plains edition number 7. Won at Mayetta not too long ago. We're going to go downstairs with Bash and your winner, Matt Saint, in just a moment on Dirt Zone. Wide Web.
Okay, Rick, the Oklahoma guys are showing us the way around the track as far as the heat races are concerned. It's something anyway. Matt Saint, winner of heat number 2. Good job.
Well, unfortunately, the heats don't mean much. That's not where the money's at. And we've been pretty good in the heat races. We just can't do anything in the feature, so we're going to try to do a little better tonight.
Without question, this track is the heaviest we've faced all week. Set up ideas for this one.
Loose, loose, loose. As loose as you can get them. Keep the front end down. That's going to be the key. The cushion's going to come in. That's going to be the fast way around the racetrack.
NCRA got to get an A-main win here sometime this week.
I hope so. Boy, these All-Star boys are kicking our butts. But we're at Tulsa tomorrow night. Maybe somebody will come up with a win there.
All right, good job and good luck at the A-main.
Thank you.
All right, Matt Saint, winner of heat number 2. Get back to you, Rick.
Thank you, DC. We're ready for Crown Battery heat race number 3. Sean Walden, your pole car in 14. Mike Peters on the outside of row 1 in 49. Then it's Rodney Duncan in 22. And the 51 of Jared Hall, the Fury from Missouri, driver out of Sykeston, and the Guy Webb Motorsports number 51. Travis Scott in 17. Rob Cheney and Denny Ashworth's number 92 Imperial Packaging.com machine. And we are ready for Crown Battery heat race number 3. Field bunching up nice and tight in turn 3. They'll thunder out of turn number 4. Green flag waves were underway. Peters gets the jump over Walden as they take it into turn number 1. The 51, the Fury from Missouri. Jared Hall looking to get by Walden, lifted the front tires up. That helped Rodney Duncan. And Hall is going to take advantage. He'll slip into third. And Sean Walden, Dave, he's having a lot of trouble out there. Can't keep the front end on the ground.
Again, it's rookie inexperience there, Rick. Sean Walden out of the NCRA, also up for that Rookie of the Year. Getting a little bit squirrely and allows Rob Cheney to go underneath, but he and Jared Wilson looking very good with the NCRA in the future, that sanctioning body.
Well, he's got a lot of work to do tonight. He's got some lessons to learn, and right now the teacher is Mike Peters in 49. He's opened up a good 7 to 10 car length advantage, running extremely well. These are guys we don't normally talk about on Dirt Zone 2001 running up front. But right now, these unknowns, if you will, or these dark horses, they're getting the job done. Rodney Duncan this time is the pupil, and these guys are surprising everybody here tonight.
Mike Peters out of Wichita right here in Kansas, showing us the way around the track. Very experienced in 87, NCRA champion way back when they ran the, what would be known as the Silver Crown cars right now. But very experienced driver, looking very good on this rough track at the 81 Speedway in Wichita.
Jared Hall's getting a good battle from Rob Cheney. Cheney started at the end of this race. So Cheney having a good run, trying to close in on the Guy Webb 51 machine. But right now it's all Mike Peters out front. This track, you said it, Bash, we'll say it again. Lightning fast tonight, extremely tacky. These guys are getting good bites. You don't see the dust, all you see is the speed.
Coming up off those tires every now and then on 2 tires, that's a no-no in sprint car racing. Otherwise, you're going to wind up on your lid. And that's not a good thing, but you got to love this action here tonight.
Rodney Duncan trying to close the gap as we close in on the end of Crown Battery heat race number 3. He seems to catch up in the corners, but it looks like Peters has a lot more motor. Maybe it is a lot of that experience knowing where to run on this racetrack.
Rodney Duncan having a rough season this year, only 1 All-Star win, probably the roughest of his career. He was telling me just a couple of weeks ago, Rick, but he's in 2nd place tonight. Looks like he's very well in control of making the A-main show.
Well, he's going to be happy he made the A-main, but we all know Rodney Duncan well. He's not happy. He can find something wrong that he did, and he'll have to correct that. But nevertheless, he's in it. You can see starting to get a glow as the checkered flag comes out for Mike Peters. He'll finish the race on top. Rodney Duncan comes home 2nd. He's in the A-main. Rob Cheney gets 3rd, Jared Hall 4th, and Sean Walden, with all the handling problems he had, Bash, he takes home 5th. He makes the feature event.
It ain't pretty, but he got the job done. 49, Mike Peters, right here, the hometown boy, the emotional win. You got to give it up for him, showing the All-Stars again the way around the track. Back with heat number 4 on Dirt Zone 2001. Winner of heat number 3, the hometown boy, does it again last night at Jetmore with Steve King. Tonight, Mike Peters from right here in Wichita, Kansas. Mike, got to be an emotional win for you in front of your hometown crowd.
Well, it's just nice to have a win anywhere. We've been struggling for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and a win anywhere is good.
That the glow in the back left tire, I thought we were going to have a weenie roast there.
Yeah, I was riding the brake. I didn't know, I didn't know it was that hot. I could kind of feel the seat warming up a little bit, but I was riding the brake pedal trying to keep the nose of the car down whenever it hit a rut, and And I'm not going to be able to do that in 30, you know, for a 30-lap race. I'm going to have to do something different, but, you know, we got by with it that time.
Good luck in front of the A-main home crowd.
Well, thanks a lot.
Mike Peters, winner of Heat 3. Back to you, Rick.
All right, Bash, let's get into Engler Tool and Machine. Heat race number 4, final heat event before we go to the dash, the B-main, and tonight's feature event. Barry Rubel on the pole from the All-Stars. He sits in the number 63, and Wayne Johnson in 29 with Tweety on the roof. He'll start in position 2. Then it's Calvin Landis. He's had a good week so far in 70. U2 car of Travis Rylant, driver out of Texas City, Texas. KSC Rookie of the Year, point leader right now. Then starting in the number 5 hole, it's Brooke Tatnell in 66, the Cat Dean Jacobs in 7R, and Rick England in 30. We're ready to go. Final heat event. Bash scurried back up to the tower. He's ready. Dave, here they come into 3. Barry Rubel, your pole car. Wayne Johnson on the outside, and we're getting green.
It's a pleasure to see Barry Rubel leading them off for this heat race number 4. Barry Rubel 10th in points last year with the All-Stars. Wayne Johnson, just a fantastic 360 driver. Won the Knoxville 360 Nationals just a couple of years ago. He's been doing great in these 410 cars, showing us the way around the track this year. Love to see him out with the All-Stars in the future there.
You're right. It's good to see Barry Rubel running up front. This guy's had a very, very hard week so far. Missed a couple shows, has run towards the back, getting a challenge from Wayne Johnson, but Barry Rubel getting the job done. This is a great sight to see. The All-Stars presenting themselves well here in this 4th and final heat event. Travis Rylant getting a good battle. Now Dean Jacobs goes to the inside of Tatnell. He'll take the spot away.
Dean the Cat Jacobs, man, badly in need of a feature win, man. He hasn't won for a while. It's been since we ran at, actually against the NCRA on the Eastern Showdown at Cannonball, so it'd be nice to see him get one tonight. But yeah, Barry Rubel with that new wrench this week with Jerry White taking him out west with him. He's looking that much better already. Getting up a little, spoke a little too soon there.
Well, Rubel just snatched defeat from the jaws of victory with that 2-wheel stand down the front stretch. Now he finds himself in desperate need of getting into the feature event as Calvin Landis goes to work on the inside. Gotta wonder if some of the suspension wasn't damaged by Rubel when that car comes slamming down.
Calvin Landis looks like he's going to make his assault on Rubel right now. Calvin out of Phoenix, Arizona, normally with the Knoxville Regulars. Flies in there every week. Very good runner in that 70 machine. Look out for Calvin Landis tonight.
Right now, Dean Jacobs goes to work on Travis Rylant, and Dean Jacobs seems to have the hookup. He was the fastest qualifier for this event, started in the 6th spot through the inversion, and he's got the Peterbilt of Northwest Ohio 7R car running strong, chasing down Tweedy.
I'll tell you, Rick, Dean Jacobs has told me on many occasions he would much rather wrestle these tacky tracks than the dark slick ones, so this is his kind of track tonight.
And he's having a good run out there, running the outside. Dean Jacobs letting it all hang out. But he's got to hang it out a little more if he wants to catch Wayne Johnson, who's running strong up front. Johnson keeping all 4 wheels down, slides through the corner. He's got a good line, Bash, as he goes through the turns. Down the front stretch, the motor carries him, but Jacobs is closing in quick.
Jacobs closing in on Wayne Johnson, but I think Wayne Johnson may be well in control of this race. He has really shown me a lot of stuff since taking over a 410 ride 14 races ago. Wayne Johnson doing a great job leading this race.
And across the line, checkered flag goes to Wayne Johnson. 2nd will go to Dean Jacobs. Travis Rylant takes home 3rd. Calvin Landis, Brooke Tatnell, and the early leader pole sitter Barry Rubel on the outside looking in. Got to go to the B-main, but Tweedy flew high in the heat race number 4. We'll go down and get a word with Wayne Johnson in a moment on Dirt Zone.
Ivan Finley. All right, here with the winner of heat number 4, another Oklahoman. Wayne Johnson, you've been having an incredible series. Not getting the win in that A-main, though, but looking tight tonight.
I tell you, I don't know. I don't know how we're looking good because, boy, this thing feels terrible. Last couple of nights, we've been backing up, and we qualified really bad tonight, and just lucky enough to start on the front row, and the racetrack's not passable right now, so that's probably why we won the heat race.
Could it be that you've been qualifying good earlier in the week and not getting there, and all of a sudden you qualify not so good tonight, and this could be the trick to get it done?
Well, I don't know. You know, fast time or in the first couple of rows, I'm not so sure, but, you know, 6th or so would be nice to get on the front row, but not 19th. So we're going to have to start pretty far back tonight. On a one-lane racetrack. I don't think this thing's going to get, not going to be a whole lot of passing. Might be a few little cars tore up tonight.
All right, good luck in the A-main.
Thank you.
Wayne Johnson, winner of heat number 4 from Oklahoma City. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash, and we'll take a look at the highlights from the Hallmark Race Trailers Hallmark Dash 6 fastest all-star members that qualified tonight. No bearing on the A main. Keep this in mind. These are valuable dash points that go towards the shootout at Eldora at the end of the year. And you can see on the first lap, the Mouse Kenny Jacobs worked the outside groove trying to get around Jason Johnson as they went across the line. But in the end, it was Dean Jacobs, the winner of the Hallmark Dash, and as a nice gesture, walked into the stands, gave his trophy to an unsuspecting fan, didn't know who this was, and the crowd loved it and appreciated it, and that's the way Dean Jacobs is. We take a look now at the B main event. 12 laps, the top 4 transferred into the A main, then they'll get their times back from qualifying. On the starter was Danny Smith and Mike Wagner on the front row bash. They went into turns 1 and 2. Smith held the point, but it was Larry Neighbors that started on the back row, didn't make a heat event, and he's working on Joe Bastias as they headed into turn 3.
Larry Neighbors, a big heat win last night at Jetmore Motorplex, another 360 runner again schooling us. Over in the third turn, Mike Wagner up for the KSC Rookie of the Year. Looks like he broke his drive line, and that really smarts, man, when that thing comes popping out of there and hits you in the ankle immediately.
Fortunately, it wasn't too serious, but it was serious for Travis Scott in the 17. Lap 6, his race chance goes up in smoke. No feature event tonight, blown engine, and on the lap 6 restart, Barry Rubel jumping the cushion. You'll see it happen right there in turn number 2, and that cost him 3 spots. He fell back to 5th from 2nd, and down the backstretch he gathered it back up, but on lap number 8, here comes Neighbors to the inside of Jared Wilson. Gonna make the pass for 2nd, and across the line, Danny Smith takes home the B main event. 2nd goes to Larry Neighbors, Jared Wilson 3rd, Barry Rubel 4th, and we're gonna go out trackside with Kelly Kinzer and Bash.
All right, Kelly Kinzer, a great start tonight, the outside row of the front row there in the A main. Kelly, nice job.
Yeah, not too bad. Finally got halfway going a little bit better here, but you know, 30 laps long ways, and she's a cowboy joint tonight, so we've had to see what we can do.
You told me earlier you've been having a rough week. You had a good night Monday night, coming a long way, but you're still looking for that first A main win, man.
Yeah, well, maybe we can pull one off tonight.
All right, good luck in the A main. Kelly Kinzer starting in the front row outside of Gary Wright for the A main. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. The A main is next on Dirt Zone. Welcome back to Dirt Zone 2001, race fans. Rick Eshelman here with you, along with Dave Bash Campbell. We're at the 81 Speedway, Wichita, Kansas. The familiar 4 abreast parade lap, the All-Stars, NCRA stars saluting the fans for being in attendance tonight. And you can see the jam-packed crowd saluting back because they know they are ready for 30 laps of feature racing. Showdown in the Midwest. This is Thunder Through the Plains. Bash, 7 years now it's been happening. It's happened every year at this particular racetrack.
Wet, rough, and tumble, and tacky tonight here at C. Ray Hall's 81 Speedway. Thanks to American Auto Sales, 2 locations in Fremont. Mike Coble and the guys helping out with tonight's broadcast and throughout the season. On the pole, Gary Wright, 8-time NCRA champion. He's won here at Wichita for the last 2 years running, leading last night a feature, running off with it, and then, of course, rolled it over and blew it on the last lap. So Gary Wright, tonight here on the pole, could be in position to take it again at Wichita's 81 Speedway, Rick.
Kelly Kinzer starts on the outside of row 1. Row 2 has Dean Jacobs and Rob Cheney. Row 3, Jason Johnson. Quick qualifier, Kenny Jacobs, the Mouse, in 6. Larry Neighbors in 29, Brooke Tatnall, Danny Smith, and your current point leader, Chad Kavanaugh, rounding out your top 10 starters. Green is out. We are underway. Kelly Kinzer leads the field into 2.
Kelly Kinzer getting a bit of a jump here, Rick. I think we're going to get a call back on this start. Barney Lyle not liking it there, and yep, that's what's happened. Whoop, 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 whoop. Mike Peters, local man, getting on top of Rodney Duncan there. That's the most dangerous time in sprint car racing, when they don't like the start. They want them to go full bore until they call them back. You want to look at the replay here. Up over the top, evidently, Mike Peters didn't see the yellow flag in the Hallmark Race Trailers replay.
Well, Peters, a little bit rough and tumble on the start. Also, Wayne Johnson having a problem in the number 29. He's going to tag on the tail as we restart this event. No laps in, 30 to go. And there you see Gary Wright, NCRA champion many times over, the current NCRA point leader. He'll now assume command of the number 1 spot, and we'll see what he can do at the field. The veteran and the youngster, Kelly Kinzer on the outside. Green is out, and Wright pulls him into 1.
This time, Gary Wright lays it down first, going into the first turn, and we got trouble already. Rob Cheney in the Denny Ashworth number 92 up on two wheels. I said earlier, Rick, you don't want to get on those two wheels, especially on a track like this. You are gone. And we got some help getting over there to Rob Cheney. Man, you hope they're all right. You always kind of hold your breath when that happens, and there he is.
Rob Cheney climbing out of the car. Man, oh man, this track has been tacky all night long. Extreme grip out there. These guys aren't used to it. And you take a look at the Hallmark Race Trailers replay. He had to check up as he come up on Danny Smith, and at that point when he checked up, the right rear grab send him barrel rolling 3 or 4 times, landing on the wing over in turn number 1, Bash. Tough ride, but we'll give it one more try and get it restarted. Once again, on the pole, Gary Wright in 9, Kelly Kinzer in 4K. They're bunching up in 3. Here we go.
Pretty indicative of this rough and tumble, wet, tacky track. Gary Wright, Kelly Kinzer leading them off once again. Gary Wright gets the jump. Gary Wright, the 8-time NCRA champion, is going to lead him into number 1, Rick.
And out of turn number 4, Sean Walden getting a little crossed up at the back there, along with Barry Rubel. Everything straightened out, and we are now at full racing speed. On the outside, Jason Johnson, they go 3 wide out of turn number 4. The mouse on the inside. Kinzer got split by the number 6 of Jacobs, the 22 of Johnson. Johnson sliding off the race surface. These guys are running wild tonight at 81 Speedway.
Brooke Tadnell making a nice assault on the field, but Gary Wright well in control already in this A-main at 81 Speedway. Remember, he's been tough to beat here. The last 2 years running in the Thunder Through the Plains, he's taken home the checkered flag, but Gary Wright had a problem last night leading the feature race, running off with it, and then tumbling over a lap car. That is the real trick in sprint car racing, Rick. You get back to that lap traffic, you gotta watch where they go.
Well, we've seen Gary Wright run out front quite a bit this year. Got to see him nail one down as the local boy, if you will, looking to pick up a feature win. Has Dean Jacobs all over the backside, and Jacobs, he's had a great night here tonight. Loves this tacky track here this evening. Normally, he's in the dust and on the slick surface, but tonight he's found the bite in that Peterbilt Northwest Ohio 7R car, and now we'll see if it can carry on as he wheel stands down the backstretch. Boy, this car has traction.
This track is excellent, very racy. Dean Jacobs high, Gary Wright low, wrestling that bottom side. He keeps that up. Dean Jacobs is going to get you if you make a mistake, but Gary Wright makes so few, and that's what makes him the great driver he is, Rick.
And this is one fast racetrack as they've already caught up to slower traffic, putting laps on the field early on in this feature event. Right now it's all Gary Wright, Dean Jacobs, and here comes Brother Kenny as now your fast qualifier running in third. The Mouse looking to pick up points on Chad Kemenow. He was 74 down coming into tonight's contest, and he needs to gain some spots as the season wears on. As you know, Chad Kemenow has been consistent all year long.
Chad Kemenow still your points leader on this 2001 season. Dean Jacobs making an assault right now on Gary Wright. Looks like he might go ahead and take over the top spot. Here it is, lap traffic always tells on you. If you don't maneuver it, you're going to get taken, and Dean Jacobs gives it up, getting on 2 tires, Rick.
Side by side, they went across the line. Matt Sane in front, and Dean Jacobs got up on the high spot of the cushion, almost jumped it, left the racing surface, gathered it back up, and Kenny Jacobs can't make up any ground right now. Jacobs in that new Maxim chassis, broken out about 3 weeks ago, has not been able to make it work, but the caution flag is out. He'll get a chance to regroup here once again in that third position. And you see the car stalled down on the front stretch. That's Greg Wilson in the number 63, bringing out the caution. Callie's performance scoreboard shows we have 10 in, 20 to go. Wright, Jacobs, and Jacobs, your top 3. Bash, Gary Wright is looking right now like he is on his way to victory.
Gary Wright well in control of the race, but Dean Jacobs is not giving him any space. Doesn't seem to be making up any ground on Gary Wright there right now, but they are running very close.
Well, they say in order to finish first, you must first finish. And right now, that's what Gary Wright's trying to do. He wants to get it done. But Dean Jacobs again roars the 7R car right up behind him on the back Nerf bar. They head into turn 3. Wright pulls him, but here comes Jacobs on the low side.
Boy, Rick, this is good sprint car racing. You see these guys both going high, both going low. They can run any groove on this track. That's the thing you like about these tacky tracks. You go anywhere. It's going to be a couple of laps before they get back to lap traffic, and we've got a yellow flag already.
Once again, caution waving here in Wichita, Kansas. This time it comes out for Sean Walden in the number 14. Did a lot of wheel stands in his heat event, and look at the smoke pouring out of Dean Jacobs' 7R car. Second place runner, Bash. We may have a problem as 11 are in on the Cali's performance scoreboard, 19 to go. Let's see if Jacobs can hang on.
It's one of those moments where as a driver, I'm sure you're sitting there going, well, should I take it in or should I just leave it out and run it slick?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dean Jacobs has a sour race car right now. Still sitting in second. Brooke Tatnall's picked up the number 4 spot as the Trop Arctic car is having a good run here tonight in the feature event. Jason Johnson rounding out the top 5. He is in the KSE Rookie of the Year point standings contention. And right now, he'd love to finish ahead of Travis Rylett. You can see Rylett getting into the picture in the U2 as he closes in on Larry Neighbors. But Larry Neighbors going inside the Sonic Man.
Travis Rylett, the NCRA Rookie of the Year last year, looks like he's going to make an assault on the Rookie of the Year for the All-Stars. So he's had a very good sprint car career already in his young life. Brooke Tatnall looking very good in that Trop Arctic 66, making an assault up on Kenny Jacobs. And a yellow flag again. Man, these rough conditions with a wet, taggy track really telling on us here at Wichita tonight, Rick.
Well, Bash, lightning fast conditions, a 3/8 mile track. Things happen in an awful hurry as you see Matt Sane and Larry Neighbors, and they're having a little drivers meeting down there in turn number 1. We'll find out how that all shakes down as we come back in just a moment for the finish of the feature on Dirt Zone 2001. Welcome back to Dirt Zone 2001. We're ready to restart the feature event once again. Rodney Duncan was in the pit area. He's going to get a push start. 13 in, Bash, 17 to go. We promised action from here in Wichita, Kansas tonight. So far, we've delivered. Larry Neighbors made it back after the altercation with Matt Sane in turn number 1. It's been such a fast racetrack. The action happens in every corner.
You got to love it. 3 laps to get those cars back out, and it really says a lot about these crews to get them back together that quick and back out onto the Speedway surface to go ahead and compete. Even though they have to go to the tail, they want to keep on getting those points and finish these races every night, night in and night out, Rick.
I'll tell you what, points so valuable. You get them in the Hallmark Dash for the Hallmark Shootout, but right now the big championship points chase in the All-Star Circuit of Champions, that concerns Kenny Jacobs in the number 6. He's got 3rd nailed down right now. Current All-Star point leader Chad Kemanaugh running 8th on the restart, and the smoking Dean Jacobs trying to hang on to 2nd place, Bash. Here comes the mouse and Brooke Tatnall along with Jason Johnson. Engines back to full song in turn 3.
17 laps to go. You got to wonder what's going through Dean Jacobs' mind right now. Wonder whether or not to shut that car down or just let her rip and see what he can come up with here. He has the horses to go ahead and catch Gary Wright, but Gary Wright seems to be pretty much in control right now.
Normally racetracks go away, Bash, as time goes on. A lot of laps put on the track. They get dry, they get slick, but these guys still getting a bite. Caution flag out again, and this time turn 1 bites the number 4 of Kelly Kinzer, driver out of Bloomington, Indiana. Started on the outside of the front row, and I'm telling you what, Bash, with 14 in and 16 to go on the Cali's performance scoreboard, attrition may play a little bit of a role in this race. It's because the cars are so fast on this racetrack. These guys are really having to work.
It's survival of the fittest. You're wrestling these 1,200-pound units here, and it's no easy task. We've been told that many times. Look at the smoke pouring out of Dean Jacobs. He's carried away, but doesn't seem to be losing any power, Rick.
Well, so far so good, Bash, as they go through turns number 2 and down the backstretch. Seems to be oil pouring out of the car, getting on the exhaust headers. Nevertheless, he's keeping the power up, and right now Dean Jacobs is pedaling for all it's worth. Travis Rylett gets around Danny Smith, and Rylett, the KSE rookie contender and current rookie point leader, chasing down Jason Johnson, and he's got him in his sights. Wayne Johnson at 29 closing in on Smith, and they come out of 4.
Brooke Tatnall also making an assault up there. Brooke Tatnall out of Australia, winning as driver in Australia's World Series of Sprint Car Racing. 28 wins in the land down under, doing very well as an American driver. Very, very short time in that 66 car after Aaron Berryhill left it just a few short months ago.
And Tatnall adapted well in the cockpit of that 66 car as Jonathan Allard off the racetrack, bringing out the caution flag. You can see him, he's gone off the runoff. He's almost onto the highway over there. Got stopped by those blocks. Caution flag out, and boy, Dean Jacobs has got to be sitting on pins and needles right now. Cali's performance scoreboard shows we've got 17 in and unlucky 13 to go. Jacobs with an ill race car, still running strong, but you just got to wonder how long is that motor going to last if in fact that is the problem.
Yellow flags coming out quite a bit here on 81 Speedway, Rick, with the conditions, but it might be a blessing in disguise for Dean Jacobs, giving that engine a rest every now and then. But here we go again, and he seems to be right back on it.
Same story as all of our other restarts. Out of turn 4, looks like Kenny Jacobs is going to get him in turn 1. Dean Jacobs goes right around on the outside in turn 1, and there goes the 66 car. Brooke Tatnall holding off the U2 of Travis Riley. Jason Johnson now gets a battle from Danny Smith. You only slip up one time here and it could cost you.
Danny Smith making another assault. Great win last night after the unfortunate event. Gary Wright crashing his car. Danny Smith picking up a big win last night at Jetmore Motorplex. Dean Jacobs, I'm sure, only hoping for the same thing as he continues to make an assault on Gary Wright up front. Daring him to make a mistake, will not let him get away with this race that easy, Rick.
No, I've never seen a guy like Dean Jacobs pedal a car so hard that looks like it's having problems out there. But I tell you what, he's got it working. It's just a matter of luck now to see if that engine holds up. But right now, the U2 had just gotten by. The 66 car of Brooke Tatnall gets passed by rookie contender Travis Ryland, and Ryland is having a strong run.
Travis Ryland having a strong run. That is pretty much an understatement of the year, Rick. He came all the way from the 6th row to get up to that number 4 spot right now that he's running in. So doing a great job, as you said a moment ago.
And Gary Wright gets around Barry Rubel, brings along the smoking number 7R car. Dean Jacobs hanging on to that runner-up spot, having a fantastic run considering the way the car is smoking. Nevertheless, Jacobs just hammers down the backstretch, chases him into 3.
3 car lengths between Gary Wright and Dean Jacobs has pretty much been what it is, and Rodney Duncan.
Duncan bringing out the caution flag over in turn number 4. Field slows down. Jacobs' tension builds. Callie's performance scoreboard shows 23 and 7 to go. Ryland has cracked the top 5. He's running 4th. Tatnall running 5th. These 5 guys, they're going to battle it out. Not many laps left, and we'll see what the Mouse has in store and see if he can stay ahead of Chad Kemanaugh as the green comes back out.
There's that smoking gun again. Dean Jacobs yelling at Gary Wright, close enough to yell and say, I dare you to make a mistake. Back in the pack there, Danny Smith and Jason Johnson, Wayne Johnson, battling it out in the middle of the pack. Some good racing here tonight at 81 Speedway in this wet, tacky track, Rick.
Well, great racing action. 2 or 3 racing grooves out here tonight. And as the night progresses, you know that moisture sets back into the racetrack, makes it even faster than it was for the heat races. This has been some fantastic racing here this evening. Still some laps left to go. Don't be surprised if you see a lot more passing going on now than you did at the beginning, because these guys are really hanging it out.
If Gary Wright can keep from making a mistake, he pretty much has this thing locked up. And yet another yellow flag. Jared Wilson, young buck out of the NCRA, up for the Rookie of the Year points along with Sean Walden, his team car. Callie's performance scoreboard, 25 in, 5 to go, 5-lap dash, Rick.
5 laps, $5,000 on the line, and a smoking car for Dean Jacobs. He's holding off brother Kenny as the green comes out, but right now, NCRA's best. Gary Wright in the number 9, your leader, and now Brooke Tatnall goes to work on the U2 of Travis Ryland. We'll have 4 to go this time by.
It's been all-stars in this Thunder Through the Plains. Kenny Jacobs taking the first 2 nights. Danny Smith last night at Jetmore Motorplex. So Gary Wright needs to make a statement for the NCRA sanctioning body and get a feature win here tonight.
Well, they say home cooking is the best tasting food there is, and right now the home cooking is the number 9 car. He's got it dialed in. This is an NCRA type track. Perfect for Gary Wright to run on. Dean Jacobs just trying to nurse his car around, but it's one heck of a nursing job considering he's holding off brother Kenny for that number 2 spot.
Kenny is not letting Dean get anywhere, but Dean, on the other hand, the cat, not letting Gary Wright get anywhere. That's a tough battle. Just about 3 laps to go now. It's going to be just a quick dash for the final here.
And on the inside, Kenny Jacobs took a look at 4, couldn't get by Dean. He'll try him again in turn number 1, and Dean Jacobs having a good run, and Gary Wright's in trouble again.
I don't believe what I'm seeing after last night crashing it, and tonight comes to a halt. Dean Jacobs takes home the win after Gary Wright busts all up.
Kenny Jacobs comes home 2nd, Travis Ryland 3rd, Brooke Tatnall 4th, Danny Smith 5th, and boy, oh boy, we've said it again and again and again. A car that smokes wins the feature, and Gary Wright once again loses out.
I don't believe my eyes, Rick. I'll say it again. I know I'm going to hammer that one home, but Gary Wright, the 2nd night in a row, busts it, after leading the feature race. We'll come back in just a moment on Dirt Zone 2001.
Dean Jacobs picking up his second win of the year. We're going to go down and talk to him pitside with Bash.
Dean Jacobs getting a big win here tonight at Wichita in the A-Main. Taking time to sign a few autographs, always good about this. Dean, what a win tonight. Gary Wright's misfortune again. Hate to see it, but by gosh, it's great to see you in victory lane.
That's the only chance I had. You could tell my motor was down. About 10 laps into the race, we lost a cylinder there. I think we actually blew the head gasket. We was having a heating problem all night, but I look at my guys, should I run or shouldn't I? And I asked Barn how many laps was down. He said 13 down. I said, man, not even halfway yet, but hey, we're here. That's all it took, you know.
It was the last time with the NCRA that you got a victory. It's been a long time coming. Your owner, Rick Doherty, left last night. I bet he's sorry now.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I told my wife and I says, we'll teach him to go home. We'll just go win a race and call him up and say ha-ha. So hopefully we can call him up, and hopefully he'll be happy, and I think he will. And, hey, we'll just take this Peterbilt up to Tulsa tomorrow and try to get 2 in a row.
Dean, to give you the right credit, it looked like you had the horses to catch Gary. It just kept getting those yellow flags. Lap traffic, that seemed to be the telltale heart for him, and I think you had this thing turned out different.
Yeah, I think if the motor would have never laid down, I think I could have beat him anyway. You know, my car was really good. We did the right things all night, and it just, the motor laid down. I just raced as hard as I could, like Bonsai was telling me over there, to keep the car straight so we can keep the RPMs up, and hey, we got lucky.
Great show tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Dean Jacobs winning the A-Main here at Wichita tonight. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. Well, he handed a trophy earlier tonight to a young race fan. He just got one handed to him by Gary Wright from NCRA. Tonight's Cali's Performance Hard Charger rookie contender Travis Rylick going from 12th to 3rd, passing 9 cars, doing a great job out there this evening. And then you take a look in victory lane. Dean Jacobs, after tonight's win, sitting in 4th in the point standings. Chad Kemanaugh getting the gap closed. 58 points now separates he and Kenny Jacobs. And tonight's Peterbilt of Northwest Ohio heartbreak of the night, Millersburg, Ohio's Rob Cheney. Vicious flip on the start of the feature event. And next week on Dirt Zone, more exciting action. Thunder Through the Plains goes to Tulsa Speedway, Tulsa, Oklahoma. For DC Bash, this is Rick Eshelman. Good night.